Welcome back to Factholic Pop, where we dive into the mysterious, the monstrous, and the downright magical. Today, we're taking you on a journey through time with our topic, the 30 oldest monsters in fiction. From the timeless legends of ancient mythology to the pages of classic literature and the screens of our favorite movies, these monsters have been haunting our imaginations for centuries. At number 30, Creeper. Jeepers Creepers. 2,000 years old. The exact origins of the creeper are not explicitly detailed in the films, but hints and clues suggest its ancient nature. In the third installment, Jeepers Creepers 3, it is revealed that the creeper has been around for at least a couple of millennia. Characters in the film discover a plaque dating back to 500 BC that references the creeper, indicating it has existed for over 2,000 years. At number 29, The Living Mummy. Marvel. 3,000 years old. Also known as Enkantu, lived during the reign of Pharaoh Aramset in ancient Egypt. Enkantu was buried alive in a sarcophagus and entombed in a hidden chamber. He remained entombed for 3,000 years until modern times when he was discovered and awakened. 28 Nazgûl, Middle-earth, 4,200 years old. The Nazgûl, also known as the Ring Wraiths or Black Riders, were originally mortal men who were corrupted by Sauron's power. The exact timeline of their transformation is tied to the history of Middle-earth, particularly the Second Age and early Third Age. The transformation of the 9 men into the Nazgûl likely occurred around 1,700 of the Second Age, soon after they received their rings. By the end of the Third Age, approximately 3,021 years had passed. Adding the years from the end of the Second Age to the start of the Third Age gives a total of around 3,441, plus 3,021 equals 6,462 years. Therefore, the Nazgûl have been in existence for about 4,200 years by the time of the Lord of the Rings. 27. Apocalypse X-Men, 5,000 years old. Apocalypse is one of the first mutants in the X-Men universe, believed to have been born around 3000 BC in ancient Egypt. Apocalypse's longevity can be attributed to his mutant abilities, which include cellular regeneration and the ability to transfer his consciousness into other bodies. This allows him to essentially be immortal, sustaining his life over thousands of years. 26. Steppenwolf, DC Universe, 10,000 years old. As a member of the New Gods, Steppenwolf possesses immortality, which means he does not age in the conventional sense and can live for thousands of years, precisely 10,000 years old. This longevity is a characteristic of the New Gods, who exist outside the typical constraints of time and mortality experienced by humans. 25. Mothra, Godzilla, 10,000 years old. Mothra's longevity is explained through a cycle of death and rebirth. Unlike most kaiju, Mothra can reincarnate through her offspring. When one Mothra dies, another Mothra hatches from an egg, carrying on the legacy and memories of her predecessors. This cyclical nature allows Mothra to persist through the ages. Mothra is described as having existed for millennia, typically around 10,000 years old. 24. Night King, Game of Thrones, 10,000 years old. The Night King was created by the children of the forest approximately 10,000 years before the events depicted in Game of Thrones. This timeline places his creation during the Age of Heroes. The Night King was originally a human. He was transformed into the Night King by the children of the forest as a weapon against the first men. They achieved this by plunging a dragon glass dagger into his heart, resulting in his transformation into the first White Walker. 23. Muzan, Demon Slayer, 10,000 years old. Muzan became a demon after a failed medical treatment intended to cure his terminal illness. The experimental medicine, made by a mysterious doctor, had unforeseen side effects that turned Muzan into the first demon. Muzan's transformation granted him immortality. He no longer ages and has an extraordinary regenerative ability, which allows him to recover from almost any injury. 22. Archimonde the Defiler, World of Warcraft, 25,000 years old. As a demon, Archimonde's age becomes less relevant in the conventional sense. Demons in the Warcraft universe do not age or die naturally. Their existence is tied to their power and the will of the Burning Legion. For beings like Archimonde, who operate on cosmic scales, the passage of thousands of years is a different experience compared to mortal races. 21. God Emperor, Warhammer, 48,000 years old. The God Emperor of mankind's age of approximately 48,000 years is determined by his mythic origins around 8,000 BC, his covert guidance of humanity through millennia, his overt rule during the Unification Wars and the Great Crusade, and his continued influence from the Golden Throne into the 41st millennium. 20. Sarlacc, Star Wars, 50,000 years old. Sarlaccs have a slow growth rate and can take thousands of years to reach maturity. Once fully grown, a sarlacc can remain in the same location for its entire lifespan, capturing and slowly digesting prey. In the legend's continuity, it is stated that a sarlacc can live for 20,000 to 50,000 years or more. This information is derived from various novels, comics, and guidebooks that delve deeper into the biology and history of the sarlacc. 19. Surtur, Marvel Universe, 500,000 years old. Surtur's existence predates the creation of Asgard and many other realms. His age of around 500,000 years is established through references to his battles with Odin's father, Bor, and the early Asgardians. These events took place long before the current timeline of the Marvel Universe. 18. Maurice, Big Mouth, 75 million years old. The age of 75 million years is mentioned in the show as part of its comedic tone. It's an absurdly high number meant to emphasize Maury's ancient and timeless nature, playing into the idea that puberty and the associated hormonal changes are as old as life itself. This age suggests that hormone monsters have been around since the time of the dinosaurs, adding to the humor and surreal nature of the show. 17. King Ghidorah, Godzilla, 130 million years old. The age of 130 million years places Ghidorah's arrival during the Mesozoic era, specifically during the Cretaceous period when dinosaurs roamed the Earth. This time frame adds to the mythos that Ghidorah is an ancient, otherworldly force that has influenced Earth's history long before humans appeared. Ghidorah's extraterrestrial origins are a key part of his character, explaining his advanced age. As a being from another world, his lifespan and biology are vastly different from Earth-based creatures. 16. Precursors, Pacific Rim, 210 million years old. The Precursors are a race of extraterrestrial beings who genetically engineer the kaiju, giant monsters that they send through interdimensional portals to invade and terraform planets, including Earth. Their ultimate goal is to colonize these planets after making them habitable for their own kind. According to the lore provided in Pacific Rim, the Precursors' first attempted invasion of Earth occurred during the late Triassic period, around 210 million years ago. 15. Martian Manhunter, DC Universe, 225 million years old. The specific age of 225 million years ties into the geological and historical context of both Mars and Earth. In various storylines, it has been implied that the Martian civilization existed for an extraordinarily long time, far predating human history. Specific stories, such as those detailing the conflicts between the green and white Martians, highlight the extensive history and ancient origins of these races. 14. Godzilla, 252 million years old. Godzilla's species is portrayed as having survived multiple extinction events, including the one at the end of the Permian period. This survival through various geological eras positions Godzilla as an ancient being. One reason Godzilla could live for such an extended period is his extraordinary regenerative abilities. Canonically, Godzilla can heal from severe injuries rapidly, which would contribute to his long lifespan. 13. Ancient King, One Punch Man, 300 million years old. By making the Ancient King 300 million years old, the creators emphasize his primordial and almost mythical power. His age implies that he has witnessed the rise and fall of countless species and civilizations. The Ancient King's prolonged existence might suggest a form of evolutionary stasis, where he has reached an optimal form that has not required significant evolutionary changes over millions of years. This stasis could be due to his apex predator status, where he faced few natural threats that would drive further evolutionary change. 12. Dystoria, Godzilla franchise, 541 million years old. The creature is a result of prehistoric microorganisms that were exposed to the oxygen destroyer, a weapon originally used to kill the first Godzilla in the 1954 film. These microorganisms evolved into Dystoria over millions of years. Dystoria represents an ancient evil that predates human civilization. Its long history suggests a latent threat that has been lurking beneath the surface of Earth, waiting to emerge. 11. Graboids tremors, 600 million years old. The discovery of a fossilized graboid spike, initially dated to the Precambrian era, suggested that graboids had existed for at least 600 million years. This period predates the evolution of large prey, as life on land was non-existent and the landscape consisted primarily of bare rocks. The idea that graboids were present during this era raises intriguing questions about their origins and survival strategies. 10. Pennywise, over billion years old. It claims to have existed before the universe and essentially has no beginning. This lack of specificity had it convinced it was infinite until the end of the book, when it realized it was actually dying and thought to itself perhaps it wasn't as eternal as it thought. People tend to ignore or skip by this part, but it is definitely not eternal. 9. Weeping Angels, Doctor Who, 4.5 billion years old. The weeping angels have been found in ancient locations, such as the Byzantium in the time of angels and various other sites that suggest a long and extensive history. Their presence in these locations implies they have been around for billions of years. 8. Unicron, Transformers, 13 billion years old. Unicron, one of the most formidable adversaries in the Transformers universe, is often described as a planet-sized monster with a history that stretches back to the very origins of the universe. Unicron's very old age shows the never-ending fight between him and Primus. This epic battle makes the Transformers story feel grand and timeless. 7. Cthulhu, 13 billion years old. Cthulhu is often depicted as a cosmic entity that existed before the formation of Earth. Lovecraft's stories suggest that Cthulhu and other great old ones arrived on Earth from distant stars or dimensions. These beings are typically portrayed as being from a time when the universe was young, implying they are billions of years old. 6. Balrog, Lord of the Rings, beginning of Middle-earth. The Ainur, including the Maya, were created by Eru Ilúvatar before the shaping of the world. Therefore, the Maya, and subsequently the Balrogs once they were corrupted, have existed since before Middle-earth took its final form. This makes Balrogs some of the oldest beings in Tolkien's world, predating even the physical world of Arda, the universe in which Middle-earth exists. 5. Sauron, Lord of the Rings, born before the creation of Middle-earth. The music of the Ainur is a central event in Tolkien's mythology. Eru Ilúvatar created the Ainur and taught them to make music. Through their combined efforts, they created a symphony that depicted the history of the universe. Sauron, then known as Merrin, was part of this great music. This event took place before the physical world Arda was created. 4. Morgoth, Lord of the Rings, older than the universe. Morgoth, originally Melkor, is one of the Ainur, created by Eru Ilúvatar before the physical universe existed. His existence in the timeless halls and participation in the music of the Ainur make him older than the universe itself. By entering Arda and becoming its principal source of evil, Morgoth's influence and corruption are woven into the very fabric of Tolkien's world. 3. Anti-Spiral, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, alive for eons. The term eons refers to extremely long periods of time, often spanning millions or billions of years. The anti-spiral's decision to suppress spiral power and enter hibernation suggests they have been in existence for an incredibly long duration. The precise timeline is not explicitly stated in the series, but the implication is that they have been alive for eons, observing and intervening in the evolution of spiral beings to prevent the spiral nemesis. 2. The Living Tribunal, Marvel Universe, beginning of time. The Living Tribunal exists outside the conventional flow of time, meaning it is not bound by the past, present, or future. This places it in a state of timelessness, making its existence as old as time itself. Being outside time allows the Living Tribunal to oversee all events in the multiverse simultaneously, judging and intervening as necessary. 1. Galactus, Marvel Universe, beginning of time. Galactus was originally the Theia, an explorer Galan of the planet Theia, which existed in the sixth incarnation of the prime pre-Big Bang universe. When an unknown cosmic cataclysm gradually kills all other life in his universe, Galan and other survivors leave Theia on a spacecraft and are engulfed in the Big Crunch. Galan, however, does not die after bonding with the sentience of the universe. He changes and gestates for billions of years in an egg made of the debris of his ship that the current universe formed after the Big Bang.